She's going to wear that mask.
Yeah.
Of course. All right, so what we're going to do. Who is this, by the way?
This is my model, Angie.
Hi, Angie. Are you a hairdresser?
Yes, I am.
Cool, awesome.
She's one of my old students.
All right.
We're going to do horizontal graduation.
Oh, cool.
So,
All right, so you've pre-sectioned.
kind of, yeah. Just section the front away and then the back straight down the middle.
Cool. And she's got quite an interesting texture, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a little bit of wave in there.
Kind of wavy, kind of fuzzy.
Kind of fuzzy, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're going to come into this underneath area first. Go on, explain it, what you're going to do.
So I'm going to establish my length in the back first. Start here.
Awesome, straight to it, no messing. So things you're looking out for here, what's going on? Because she's got quite the hairline there, hasn't she?
Yeah, that's why I'm starting a little bit longer to kind of weigh it down a little bit and see how it's going to jump up.
And that's the reason why you're going at this horizontally, right? Instead of vertically. So obviously, guys, when you build something horizontally, it's going to be much heavier than to come through vertically. And when you're working with like a jumpy hairline, something that's maybe a little more unpredictable, it's sometimes better to go through horizontally because you're going to achieve much more weight and density that way. Cool. So constantly moving it around just to see where it's landing and what it's doing. And just really popping it on top of that. We're going to go through over the shoulder here with this. Alexa, stop. Could turn that music off before we get booted off. So things watching out for here obviously is section size because it's going to affect how the weight is built up through the head shape, isn't it? So if you take too big of a section, you'll build too heavy too quickly, right?
It'll be too chunky.
Right. So pulling down now. So taking that first section that you had and you're using a bit more elevation now.
Yeah.
Some people are going to say 45, but just above 0. And below 90, that's what we're going to say, right?
36.
36 degrees. Okay, cool. So working that line, and really what you're doing is you're just working like almost like a flat square line, aren't you?
Yeah.
Keeping it behind the shoulder blades. It's a really nice way, an alternate way of cutting a graduated bob this as well. Hello from Iran. What's up?
Now I'm clip guy.
But at least you put it in the hair. That's cool.
Stay bored.
You do have places to put it on your outfit today, though. These are wonderful. Look at Katie's outfit today, guys.
If I raise my arms any further, my whole foot.
That's amazing. That's why you're working graduation and not layers. Brilliant. Aww.
It's a graduation dress.
Brilliant. Ira says top fit.
Thank you, Ira.
Ira would wear that outfit, I'm pretty sure.
He could borrow it.
Probably have to be a bit longer in the skirt length
wear
of
shorts.
the dress.
Yeah, I can.
So what did you do there? You dropped the first section.
Yes.
So you're just bringing it down into the previous. So you're not fully pulling it down to one stationary place.
Yeah.
That's cool. So think of elevation like over direction, guys. You know, it's the same premise. It's just going to affect a different dimension. So by pulling the hair down, it's obviously going to make it get heavier towards the top. So pull away from what you want to keep. But it's the amount of where you pull away from it that's going to determine the build-up. Just like it would be if you were using over direction. You can over direct back to the first section, or you can over direct back to the previous. And that's kind of like what we're working here. Hello from Greece. Yep, I like how that's reacting. You can see that bevel, guys, just taking that corner off. That's what the graduation's done. It's starting to really make that texture work and kind of control it a little bit better. That's the beauty of graduation. It really just takes over control. Whereas layers, you're letting your hair take control. Hello from India. Hello. Michelle, she's multitasking, but she made it. Were you cooking? Were you baking, Michelle? So keeping your sections parallel all the way up. So it's almost kind of like working a one length bob, square bob, but using elevation. Hello from Argentina, Mendoza, Argentina. Hello. So look at that line, keeping it square behind the shoulder blades. So what that's doing is it is over directing those side pieces and enabling it to get longer. So even though we're saying the square line, the balance of this is triangular. It's shorter in the back, getting heavier towards the front. Hello from Brazil. So your squeaky shoe. So guys, if you just joined us, we're working on horizontal graduation in the back here, working with a triangular balance. So it's getting heavier towards the front. Hello from Germany. What's up, guys? So let's look at that elevation. So have you kept your elevation like more on that second section? Is that,
Kind of,
that where your
yeah.
area is that you're aiming for?
A little bit higher,
Okay.
maybe.
Are you going higher with each section?
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, I'm watching. I'm watching and learning.
A little bit.
Still pulling down, obviously, building weight. And I would say it's in that region of the second and the third section, if you want to get super technical. But if you look at that, she's literally pulling it to her belly button. It's belly button level graduation. That's kind of where it's going. Think of it like that. I mean, that's kind of like what I would do when people would say like 45 degrees. To me, that at my height, that was like bringing it to where my belt buckle would be, or the navel area, the belly.
Right? Because like
Yeah.
be into the chest
Yeah,
and then down into the belly.
yeah, it's straight out from from that point, particular point, would be your chest, wouldn't it?
And that's nice to have that like referral point in your own body because you know where everything is on your own body.
Well, it's
right?
like what you were doing the other week, where you were putting the comb on the head and letting that be the angle of where you were pulling it down, and it was pretty much bringing it into that area
Right.
where our belt would be. Things like that always help me, because like even in like a classic graduated bob where you actually work through with body position, you know, one of the things to aim for was this front corner of the chair on both sides. And that would be the angle to come through.
Right.
And then like on a firefly round graduation, and you would be aiming for the back corner of the chair on each side coming through. And that really helped me.
Yeah.
You know, that's what my mentors gave me as directions. You learn me, okay, so we taught you what elevation over direction is. That's cool. It's very important to understand what those mechanics are. They're the same thing, basically. They just affect different things. So over direction, moving here backwards and forwards, is going to affect what happens horizontally. And then that building weight up and down is affecting what we see vertically now. That looks really good, Katie.
Thank you.
So worked all the way up to that kind of higher occipital area so far, and then right behind the ear, that top of that mastoid area. Still pulling that back. Yep. Let's just turn her around a bit. Let's see it on that break. Yeah, that looks great.
And I like the length.
Through here, yeah. And I think really all it is it's like a reorganization of what she had, isn't it? It's not like a full, let's swap it off to change it.
Change the back, keep the front.
And I think that's important too as a stylist to know that you don't have to cut like everything, right? Like you kind of have like the main focus and you can just like tweak it and dust it into place, right?
This is prime example of people knowing what they're doing.
Right.
Because if you don't know what you're doing, then you're just going to cookie cut. So the whole thing is going to be a routine haircut. You're not going to leave bits and take
Right.
away bits.
Pull down the 4 sections, cut the length.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Section into 4 and let's just do the old usuals.
Right.
I always say it's like being able to fly the plane. You know, you're in control of it. Sorry, I moved
So you
it.
didn't kick it.
I was just messing with you.
Pranks.
Psych. So now now you can see that elevation. This is great. I haven't seen anybody actually cut a bob using the technique that I learned from an Aveda Institute. Actually, this is quite commonly done. I mean, I guess it's where you're looking. Obviously, Aveda Institute heavily influenced by Vidal Sassoon. Personally know the people that wrote the curriculum there, and it all stems from Sassoon. So again, just understanding what you're doing. If you do this, you're going to have a nice, heavier, kind of beveled bob. Whereas if you did it vertically, you're going to have a much leaner version of it. So if you can see that, keeping it behind the shoulder blades, that's going to give it quite the consistent balance. So constantly cutting this line back here. So that visual that I'm giving you now, you're cutting it behind the shoulder blades. If you go beyond it, then this is going to go up. So really keep in that position. And you can see how that's just going to just do its thing. Doesn't really need to be styled into place or anything. It's reacting well with the texture. Or the texture's reacting well to your haircut. I feel like your bangs grew an inch.
They did.
We just cut them.
Both of her bangs?
The three of them.
All three of them?
But that was 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
So yeah. Because my hair's already like...
You're in every 2 weeks schedule, aren't you?
Yeah.
But if we didn't cut the top and it's like, it's gone now.
Yeah.
It's just lost its thing.
My haircuts last me like 6 months.
Your Sigourney haircut that
Yeah.
we gave you?
Took 6 months to get an inch, you know?
Guys, you missed it the other day. She had it like smoothed out.
It was
and wavy.
long
It was
and
very.
straight.
No, Instagram.
It was
I
client
know.
worthy.
I was.
And you should have ring light selfie.
Yeah. Nobody recognized me here.
I was like, who's the new stylist?
Told her to give him a station. She's using my clips.
How dare she?
That's my comb.
She's using a tray. How dare she? Great teamwork from explanation and performance. Thank you. That's really nice of you. We really enjoy our Mondays. Pretty much every day we get to work together is pretty awesome. It's a little bit different here at the factory. It's not like a normal... I don't know what normal is anyway in salons, so... It's pretty cool. We enjoy it. And we have a wealth of knowledge. We're all educators. We're all... Well, I don't do clients much, but these guys are also stylists as well.
When I have clients and DJs working with clients as well, at rare occasion in between, I get jealous because I can't watch you cut hair because I'm busy cutting hair.
That's
And
how
I'm
I feel.
And I'm like, let's get
Yeah,
on with
right?
it quick before they see this.
Where's DJ working?
Really, what are you doing?
So you've gone into the crown area now,
Yes.
and you're doing that based on density, obviously, right? Cool. So guys, it doesn't have to stop at the occipital ridge, at this area, you know? You can go a little bit further, and it will encourage this area to be even leaner.
I think with this stuff up here, I am going to cut it a little bit longer.
Right.
That way it'll encourage her
More
texture.
expansion.
Yeah.
Right, cool. So now coming with the disconnection. So another graduation. Cool.
Is that a different elevation then?
Same elevation, just going longer. So still
okay.
coming. So this very much like what you were doing now. She's definitely coming off this natural round of the head with the elevation. You know, isn't this what someone called reverse graduation?
Yeah, I think so.
It's still graduation. It's not.
Yeah.
Nothing's going in reverse
Disconnected
here. Yeah, it's just
graduation.
disconnected. Yeah. What we would call channel cutting. Yeah.
I remember being in arguments with people and I'm just like,
I mean, each to their own. What you want to call it, right?
So you're just going a little longer then, like
yeah,
kind
about
of.
like one finger's width longer.
Okay.
And still pulling back on the same line, same positioning as the line that you're cutting, but just cutting a little bit longer than what we had on the underneath. Cool. I like this because a lot of people would disconnect and then layer and wonder why it was just also very piecey through the top two, you know, because you've layered through it.
And skinny.
Yeah, you've skinnied it. And you know, if you were to smooth this out, it just gives a softer edge. Seen that quite a bit lately, actually. What's up, Yesenia?
Hi, Brian.
Hi. It's so nice outside, the weather.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. You're sweaty. I put the AC on all night for you because I know you're a little bit freezing.
Turn on the ice box.
It's hot outside.
Do a few screenshots for you there.
Ooh, fancy.
Mm-hmm.
I have like 3 more sections.
So still bringing it to that same elevation. Again, we've cut a little disconnection here. Yeah, love it. I think what was cool is all 3 of us did the consultation too, didn't we? We all just like jumped in.
I like that. That's
All 4 of us did it actually. We all got in there.
So do you blow dry your hair or do you usually let it air dry?
I'll usually just let it air dry and then I'll style it. But it was getting to the point where I would just throw it in a bun. So I was like, it's gotta go.
Yeah.
It needs to be easier.
Yeah.
Right, totally. Looks great.
okay. Now,
Yeah, that changed, made the profile. Yeah.
one scene is happening in the top.
And you haven't even touched the front at all. It's all just been sectioned away.
And it.
Yes, that wave now works.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before it kind of like looked half and half, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't.
Well, just having that, like pushing that forward too, blended that all in.
It's just amazing what triangular does, because it just all sits in with balance of bone structure. You know, even
And it kind of
even
just
that eye makeup.
blends into the front now. It's
Yeah.
like the same length now. I don't know. I think I should leave it.
Yeah, because there's no
It looks great.
there's no point in changing it when it looks good. What's that saying? Don't fix it if it's not broken, right? And that was the whole thing, was taking the weight out in the right areas and leaving it where it needs to be. It looks great. Profile on it. And obviously, if you were to diffuse this, you're going to see a lot more crown expansion on that profile. Yeah, I think it looks great.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it, and then I'm gonna
We can dry it and stuff.
cut it down real quick.
We're going to do the bangs?
Yeah.
Cool.
Bangs.
Just gotta find them.
Yeah, I mean, you're right there, Chris, when you say profile. To me, this view is always great, but it's very two-dimensional. And that's what the clients are usually bothered about, and they really don't see this view. And that's where we see all three dimensions all come together, is when we see the profile, and that shows you whether it is really truly balanced or not, because everybody else in the environment gets to see this view, not just that view. Hey, clip person. At least you didn't put them like down here. Can you imagine? Like on your shirt.
Clip them up into my shorts. Oh, thank you. I feel like your bangs are longer than the last time.
Yeah, they probably are.
Just generally what happens, it grows.
You're not cutting them yourself?
No.
That's
I tried. I tried and I was like, nope.
I think I'm gonna leave the length, just take some weight out of them.
Okay. I'm just zooming in on those scissors. So cool.
They're the best.
So just coming in using the length of the fringe, the bangs as the guide, and taking that weight off. So whatever angle you cut here, whatever angle Katie cuts, obviously with her fingers there, is the amount of weight you take out. So if she was to make her fingers more vertical, then you're going to leave quite a lot more weight on that fringe, on the edge. So just switching it up and just taking a little bit more off that. I've got the old Bauhaus nails. For a minute, for some reason. Now, did you elevate up into, or you just working following the head shape?
Yeah, I'm just following the head.
So not pushing towards the center. Pushing towards the center is going to make it more of a concave, so that's what you guys are going to call curtain bangs. That's just the concave happening. Pushing it out towards the edges. Yeah, I like that. Bit more independence in the fringe.
Yeah. Well, and that, I mean,
When it was dry, they looked quite flat, didn't they? Like it was just like this
yeah.
one length dominant.
And then doing it this way too, you get a similar result with like the profile view as well, and it's not so bulky,
Or
right?
flat there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's much more complementary to the,
Yeah.
the head. The head that it sits on.
Which is the most important thing.
Right.
Doesn't matter how clean it is when you cross-check it. Sometimes it's what it looks like when it's falling down and that. trying to get the angles. Watch out for your skirt.
So she's got the tall shoes on.
So again, just following head shape through.
That's gonna expose some of those blue pieces in her fringe as well.
Yep, I like the fact you kept the length too. Because then it's not just dominated by the fringe.
I think the length was hitting really complimentary to her face,
Yeah.
so bringing that up wouldn't have.
Well, we just made this bit of focal point, the
Right.
haircut. Then it would have changed that profile. Yeah, that looks nice.
Maybe when it's dry, I'll kind of soften this.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good job.
Thank you.
Hey guys, so thank you for tuning in and watching. Good job, Katie. It was
Thank
awesome. Lots of hearts.
Good.
Thank you very much
Yay.
for being a wonderful model. Letting us cut your hair off.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks again for joining us, guys. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Yeah, we'll see you then. And again, you can watch this in my IGTV. It'll be there. We'll finish it off, and we'll also be posting about it and stuff. So stay tuned for a kind of finished look and that. But you guys can get the idea of what it's going to look like. Great shape. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. See you next time. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Katie.